Hello. Hi, I hope someone can hear me out there. Okay. So Q, can you hear me? Or if anyone else can hear me, just put it in the chat on the right side there and say, yes, I can hear you. And hopefully you can see my screen. All right, Noah, you can hear me. That's great. Great, great, great. All right, well, we have about 5 minutes left. If you want to type into the chat where you're coming from, it's always fun to just see where people are coming from. I think we had about almost 250 registrants, and so hopefully we get a nice group here today. I'll be watching the chat as we go along, just sort of getting everything set up here. So if you have questions as we go along, put them into chat. Hi, Marie. So you can see my presentation. It says using FarmFan to drive farmers market sales. That works. One thing you could do while we're waiting is, which I mentioned in the email, if you want to create an account for FarmFan, I'm going to go through and be setting up an account today in the second half of this. So if you want to get a little bit ahead of that and sign up for an account, at the top of your page, click sign up. Of course, that will take you away from this. So you might want to right click on it and open it in a new window. But that'll take you here. And then you can put in a couple of details. That would only take you a minute or so just to put in some details here and your password and your mobile phone number and where you're coming from. That'll give you an account, and that is free. So if you're thinking about FarmFan, that would be a worthwhile thing to do in the next couple of minutes. Noah, good to have you in from Weeding. Goodwater, Alabama. You're in a totally different climate than we are here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're just we don't have the pleasure of having any weeds right now. So it seems like people are able to see the screen. We have some people logging in. That's great. And so I think we have about 2 or 3 minutes. So I'll check back in 2 minutes and we'll start this up. And I like to get these things going right on time. So I'll be right back. All right, looks like we have a lively crowd from all over the place. Duluth, Minnesota, and Kentucky. Hi, Karen. Good to have you here. I know there's a number of different groups of people, some people who used FarmFan last year and looking at some of the new features that we've implemented for this coming year, and some people that have starting to use FarmFan this year, and some people are just thinking about it. So welcome. And I think we're right on 1 p.m. Eastern, so I'll just start talking. I don't want to waste too much time. So today I'll spend about, I wouldn't have spent about 20 minutes on a little presentation, just showing you some different things about FarmFan and how we can help drive farmers market sales, and then spend the second half actually setting up a FarmFan account and getting through that. So I'm hoping probably be more towards 40 minutes, and then we'll have time for questions after that. And put your questions into the chat as we go along, and I can try to answer them, or might have to wait till the end. But anyway, hi, my name is Simon Huntley. I am the founder of Small Farm Central and FarmFan. And if you don't have a little bit of background on me, I grew up on a small farm in southwestern Pennsylvania. We're currently actually based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but we serve farms and farmers markets across the US and Canada and internationally. So I grew up on a small farm and always was really interested in technology and not so much into farming. But as I went through college and got re-interested in some of the things that were going on in farming at the time, and after college I helped a farmer start a CSA and a market garden, and we did 130 member CSA, and we did 5 farmers markets a week. So I have actually worked at farmers markets as a vendor. So that's a little bit of my background. So I've really just sort of married technology and agriculture, farmers markets into what we do now. And so for the last 9 years, I've been the founder of Small Farm Central, and we've done different things. We do websites for farms. We do a lot of things with CSAs. And then our latest project is FarmFan. And so FarmFan comes out of my thinking in, I guess it would have been summer of 2013, thinking about this intersection of a lot of things going on in the mobile world. I wanted to help farms with what was going on in the mobile world. We weren't really addressing mobile too much as a company. And then also, I've been working with CSAs for so long. For 3 or 4 years, we had been really focused on our member assembler product, which was, it still is for CSA farms. But I started to realize that not every customer, or not every person, not every eater is a great CSA customer. They go away for a couple weeks in the summer. They just don't want to get a box of produce. They want to have that social atmosphere of going to a farmer's market. So I wanted to help farmers markets become more viable. And then one thing I've been hearing from a lot of my CSA farmers especially is that they were focusing more on the CSA because the farmers markets just weren't cutting it, and they're spending too much time there and taking home too much produce, and it just wasn't seeming like a viable thing for them. But I knew there was something there, and so that's where FarmFan comes out of. So it's just a little history. So some of the challenges that I see at farmers markets from a marketing perspective. As a farmers market, you're only open once per week. So you may be open, a lot of farmers markets are open on Saturday morning. So you open Saturday morning from 8 to noon, rather than a regular retail store that's open, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, if not more. And so it's really time dependent. If something gets in the way of people getting there to the market at that time, that can become a real problem. Only open seasonally. So as people get in the habit of coming to the market, then at the end of the season, they can't come anymore. And then they get back into the rhythm of going to the grocery store or wherever else they're buying. And then it takes them a while to get back into coming in the off season. Coming the next season. Of course, for folks maybe down in Alabama, you can be open 52 weeks a year, and more farmers markets certainly are open year round, and there's a reason for that, to keep people keep people coming back year over year. So there's definitely some challenges with farmers markets. And I think one challenge is that people are definitely coming out of their way to come to a farmer's market. It's a great experience, but everyone has such busy modern lives, and so they're going to have to go to the grocery store probably anyway to get a couple extra things, and so they're really going out of the way to go to the farmer's market, and so we need to make it as easy as possible for them to shop there. And then it's hard to get repeat business. People forget about the market, and of course there are weather-related challenges, and we can talk a little bit about how FarmFan tries to address some of these different things. So what FarmFan does, and I think most of you know this, but it marries text messages. So it allows customers to opt in to get a text message right before the market. And so why did we go with text messages? And I said earlier, this came out of some of my thinking in the summer of 2013 about how we would address mobile. And for farmers markets, I think it's so important because of some of these challenges. Like, it's a very time dependent thing. We want to reach people on their mobile device because that's what they're carrying in their pocket. So we had first thought about, let's create a mobile app, and then people can download this mobile app and this will be great. And mobile apps can be really great, but part of the problem with mobile apps is that people need to have the latest cell phone technology to do it. They need to go to the app store. They need to download it. So there's a lot of problems with getting people to actually adopt the mobile app. But a text message, realized, is much easier. All we need is their phone number, and we want them to opt in to actually get those. But all we need is their phone number, and then we can send them push notifications right to their pocket. And so what's so great about text messages is the open rate and then the time within when they read them. So the open rate, there's different statistics out there, but one is that there's 97% within 3 minutes. So 97% of text messages are sent and they're open within 3 minutes. So it's essentially a real-time messaging. I mean, if you compare this, if you're tracking your email sends, if you're getting, say, over 30% open rate, you're doing really well. And then you're not able to, you don't exactly know when people are going to open them. And most people are going to open their email within 24 hours. I think it's like 75% of the sentence. 75% of the opens that are going to happen within the first 24 hours on an email. But with something so time sensitive as a market, that means you could have 30 or 40% of people opening the email after the market's already happened. And so that's why text messages can be so great. And then there's very low noise with text messages. So as compared to, you're probably doing some social media outreach on Facebook, and that's great. And maybe you're doing an email list, and I love email lists. I think you definitely should be doing that. But people are inundated with messages on social media and email. Whereas with text messages, in general, we just share those with our family and friends, and that's what's so powerful about text messaging. We can talk more as we go along, but one of my questions when we started this was, would farmers market customers want to receive text messages from their customers or from their market? I wasn't sure that they would, but my experience last year tells me yes, they do, and they're excited about it. I mean, there's certainly a certain percentage, maybe 15% or so of folks that just don't want to share their mobile phone number, and that's fine. They don't have to. But for those people who get it, they really like just having the reminder. And that keeps them because they really want to come to the farmer's market, but it's so easy to forget when you're on the go and on the move. I know even me, I will forget about the market many times, and a text message would remind me. So one of the key things that I'm trying to hone in on with FarmFan is, and I'm just checking the time. Okay, we've already got 10 minutes down. Is the occasional customer challenge. So you have those customers, you have those customers at your farmer's market that are coming every week and they're spending $50, $60. And those are your core customers. Those are your great customers. And And those people are great. I think we want to keep them and make sure they keep coming because they're the core of the spending that's going on at the market. But we can't really increase their sales very much. They can't really spend more. But those people that are bought into the idea of farmers markets, they like the idea of farmers markets. So they're coming 2, 3, 4 times a year, but maybe they're forgetting whatever. They have a lot of reasons why they're not coming. But if we can get them to come 6 to 8 times a year with some loyalty systems, with some text messages, with this real-time notification, that's going to be a huge win for your farmers market. And that's where I really see the growth that you can have in your sales is with these occasional customers. So we try to address that with FarmFan. And one thing that we've really focused on, especially this year less than last year, is bridging the gulf between the like and the sale. And so this is bridging the gulf between internet interest and actually getting them down to the farmers market to make a purchase, because someone might like you on Facebook or follow you on Twitter or visit your website, and that's great. And we want to have people interested, and we need lots of those people interested. But we want them to actually come down to the farmers market and make a purchase, because in the end, if you have 2,000 likes on Facebook, but you don't have any customers down at the market, then you don't have a viable market. And so we put some tools in FarmFan this year to allow people to opt in to get a FarmFan text on your website. And so we have a nice pop-up widget that you can use. I want to get rid of this Skype thing here. Okay. So bridging the gulf between the like and the sale. And okay, I'm just looking at the chat. All right, Q handled that. Okay. And then also some social media. So ways to get people that are liking you on social media, get them to be farm fans, and then use the text messages and the loyalty and the rewards to actually get them down to the market. So how do people sign up for FarmFan? So how do people get on your FarmFan list? And I'll show you this a little bit more when we go to the setup side. There's a couple things. I talked about the website pop-up widget. I'll show you this example here. If I go to this. So the website pop-up widget shows in the bottom right. Now it's out of my screen. Okay, this is the pop-up widget, and people can sign up right from here. And this is one of our new customers this year, actually, one of their websites. So you can sign up for FarmFan right from the website, and it goes through the whole process. So I'll just show you the next screen. So then select the markets that they're interested in. So that's one thing I should know. So if you're a vendor and you go to multiple markets, or you manage multiple markets as a group, then people just opt in to get the messages for the markets they're really interested in. Now, this is really important, because with text messages, people are going to get annoyed. And so if you send too many text messages, or they're getting text messages about things, especially about things that they're not interested in, they're going to opt out. They can, and that's another thing to note, that they can opt out at any time of the text messages. They would reply with the message stop or unsubscribe, and that'll automatically unsubscribe them, so you don't have to manage the subscriptions or unsubscriptions from the service. So yeah, they would opt in to get just the messages they want. I just want to hear about the Ebenezer Road Market on Tuesdays, and then I can type in my cell phone number and complete the registration. So that's one way to get people signed up. There's what we call a landing page, and this you can link from social media or from emails, and it looks something like this, and they just type in their information here and sign up for the markets they're interested in. And then so we also have multiple ways for people to sign up at the market. So you could have people write down their phone number right at the market, or we also have a text to join, so they can text a special code into the FarmFan phone number and then join there, so then you don't have to touch it. That's something we would definitely recommend. And then getting people to join via social media, and also with the loyalty, and I'll talk more about that as we go along. And Mark asks, let me come back to your question, Mark, in the question and answer session. Just want to make sure we get through this. Okay, so this is one of the, this is a way for people to join at the market, and this is one of the signs that we're providing this year. So we're providing a whole promotional packet that we're going to send out in the next week or so, hopefully less than a week. But this is one of them, and then you can customize this to your own liking. This is an 11 by 17 sign. You could either get it professionally printed if you want, and we can help you with that, or you can just print it out in your home printer. But you would change this code here. This is XYZ123, and you'll have your own code, which you'll get out of FarmFan, and people can join at the market. So I think signage is really important. That's one thing we saw last year. The people who were most successful with FarmFan did a really good job with signage at the market. If you know, putting signs out, we have sandwich board templates that we're going to provide to you. And okay, Mark, I'm glad I answered your question without meaning to. And so we'll definitely help you with this aspect of getting the signage ready. But this is one of the sample signs that we have, and we're really aiming to make this as easy as possible to plug into what you're already doing with your marketing and make it look really professional. So definitely lean on us. We have a designer on staff here who can help. So another aspect of what we're providing to you to make it look professional is some shareable images for social media. And so our designer put these together, and you could, again, customize these. But these are Facebook. So if you're posting to Facebook, it's nice to have an image with it. And so you can use these images, and we'll send these out in the promotional package. And these could even become Facebook ads. We had one market who was really successful getting people to sign up by doing boosted posts in surrounding zip codes, or zip codes that their markets serve. And so they're finding a lot of new customers actually this way, getting them to sign up for FarmFan, and then when it's time for the market to open, they can send out their text message. So that's another way to find new people, is using the Facebook boosted posts or the Facebook ads. But we'll provide you the shareable images, and of course, go ahead and create your own if you feel like doing that. But we want to make this as easy as possible on you. So another thing along that line is a press release template. And so this is definitely something that you can get some press in your local area about, that you're the first in your region to adopt this new app to connect with the community. And so this is a template, and you sort of add your own quote, and then you can go and definitely try to get some free press, may as well. And this is just the time of year to do it, because people are begging for this kind of this information. So that's another thing we'll provide to you in the promotional package. So once you have people signed up, and say you've got 100 people signed up, then how do you send messages? And I will show you this in maybe I'll just wait to show you more, but you can send this via text message the morning of the market or the day of the market. We'll send you a reminder. That's one really nice thing about FarmFan. If you don't schedule a message ahead of time, either because you mean to not schedule it ahead of time, you want to include the latest information of what's going to be that day, or because you just forget, and then you have a busy life too, just like your customers. The FarmFan system will send you a text message reminder 2 hours before the market and say, hey, you forgot to schedule a message today. What are you going to have today? And you can just reply right by text message. You can even take a picture of something that's at the market that day, attach that to the photo, and that photo will go out. With it. So that's a really nice way to make things look professional. So, but you can also go ahead and schedule the message ahead of time. If you have some marketing hours that you have during the week and just want to schedule it ahead of time, you can definitely do that. But you can do it via text message or browser, and you can do this on your the browser on your mobile phone will work really well. We have a mobile optimized control panel, or you can do it on the browser on your computer. So you can definitely do this on the go. And I'll show you how that works when we get into the control panel. I do want to explain how the check-in passcodes work. And so this is new for FarmFan for 2015. So we're changing things up this year. Last year we had more of a point-based system. So if someone bought $22 worth of product, they would get 22 points. And then the farm or the market would then write that down and enter it manually. And it was just way too much work. It didn't get done, and it was just just didn't really work well. And so we really wanted to simplify the system. We had a number of people have success with more of a check-in based system, almost like an electronic punch card, you could think of it. And so this is the kind of thing where check in 10 times and get a free hat, something like that. And this is the rewards part of what FarmFan does. And so the way we're doing that this year is there is a passcode for each day of the market. So the passcode might be something like tomato or eggplant or forest or anything, but it's one word. And this works a little bit like if you go into a coffee shop and you need to get the passcode to get on the internet. So what we do is we text the passcode to you on the morning of the market. So a couple hours before the market, we'll text the passcode to you. Say, hey, the passcode for today is coffee, as I see a cup of coffee in front of me here. So the passcode for today is coffee. We'll text that to you. And then you give that to your customers however you like. Now, you may tell that to them as they purchase to make sure they've actually purchased. But you definitely, you might write this on a whiteboard. And what you're seeing here in this design is a sandwich board design, where then you could write in the passcode with a dry erase marker, or you might just have a dry erase board and write, today's passcode is. But one way or another, you're getting that to the customer when they come down to the market. And then they take that passcode and then they text it into the FarmFan phone number. And this is the same phone number they would have gotten their text message from that morning, the reminder text message. So all they have to do for everyone across the system, and that number won't change. So they text it in, and so they can just reply to the message they've already gotten, text in tomato or coffee, I guess was the one we used. And then the system will come back to them, reply to them within a couple seconds and say, success, you got your you got your check-in. These are the rewards that you have available. This is the next reward, and tell them that. So it's a very hands-off system for you. Your days at the market are way too busy to add on doing any manual data entry. And so this is a way to allow the customer to do all the data entry themselves and save you that time. And I see a quick question over here. Beth asks, will there be a way to customize images with our name? Yes, we'll provide editable images to you, Beth, and we can help you with that. Either we can do it for you or you can do it. So we'll definitely help you with that. So I hope that makes sense with the check-in passcodes. But it's pretty simple. We text the passcode to you in the morning. You tell it to your customers. They text it in, and then you're done. So different types of rewards, and I'm already getting past the timing that I should be at, but as I wanted to get back into the control panel a little bit. So I'll go through this really fast. And I can talk to you about this as we go along, help you design a rewards program, but here's 4 types of rewards. Monetary rewards. This is something like check in 10 times, get a $10 market card, or 10% off your next order, or something like that. And that's definitely something you can do. Don't feel like you have to do that if that doesn't make sense. Product-based rewards. And this is something, especially if you're a vendor, this might be easier to do. If you have certain product that you need to move, say it's, we had one farmer with bedding plants. After the season had already, sort of the plant season had already gone on a little bit, he had chive plants left over. And so chive plants became a reward one of those weeks. And so, if there's things you need to get through, you can do that and then get them out to people that way. Number 3 is swag rewards. And this is something like hats or t-shirts or bags. This is a great way to push that stuff out to people. Check in 10 times and get a market tote bag. And so that's definitely something you can do in combination with some of these other things. And then what can be really interesting is what we call experience-based rewards. And so something like check in 10 times and get invited to an end of season potluck or party or dinner with a chef or something like that. So something that doesn't cost you that much, but is something special that no one else, that people can't get any other way. And probably some combination of one or two, or maybe even three of these things is probably where you want to head. So there's something, because different people will be motivated by different things. And these don't need to be over generous. Your people just like accumulating the points and being thanked and being called farm fans. And so, but I can definitely help you with that as we go along. And we have some help documentation on this to help you design a program. But I'd say just start, do it, make it easy on yourself. Don't make it over generous, and just see where the program goes, and you can adjust it as it goes along. And I should say that you don't even have to do the check-in system and the rewards and all that. You can just do the text messages. You could just even do the text messages just as a reminder and to get people the information. One thing that we've seen that's successful is people will include a special within the text message. So it'd be something like, hi farm fans, today mention you're a farm fan and get $1 off cucumbers, or something like that. And this is a good way if you don't want to track check-ins and everything, but you still want to give people specials and give them that reason to sign up because they're going to get specials, then you can provide them really easily through the text message. And if you're a market manager, this is a way to feature a different vendor each week. You can feature a different vendor in each week's message. So you can really go simple and not even start doing check-ins and all that. I think that's totally valid and a good way to do it. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick live demo. So I'm gonna go through the sign up process here, and you can definitely do this with me if you like. And so this is just clicking on sign up in the top right, but be careful because that'll open it in this same window. So you want to open it in a new window. I'll just put the link in here in the chat, just in case you want it. So business name, let's call it Today Farm. I'm just making one up. Today Farm and Market, how about that? Simon Huntley. And then give myself a password. And so I'm going to take you through the whole setup process. Actually, I need to log out of here. Sorry. Let me start over there. I'll start over. So I was logged in. Okay, it saved all that. Okay. Okay. Choose your time zone so we can get things to you at the right time. Choose your country. We can talk about pricing before we go, but I just recommend just doing the pay-as-you-go plan to start. Start finding your fans. And of course, that didn't work. Now, why didn't that work? Okay, and so this is what you will see after you log in. It'll give you a few of your first tasks to do. But your first thing that you want to do is create your first market. And markets are the different distribution lists. So if you're not specifically doing markets, maybe you have a retail farm stand, that would still be a quote unquote market. But let me create this market. So this will be the Wednesday market. And so you create multiple of these if you have multiple markets and multiple distribution lists. And so if you're doing a retail farm market, one thing, so you want to create one list. So if you have a market that's open, say 7 days a week, and then set the time for when you want the notification to go out. So it might be something like 2 p.m. on Friday is when you want the message to go out. And that should be when you want to generate those sales. I often say Fridays because people, oftentimes for retail farm markets, the weekend is the busiest time. And so on Friday, you can sort of get those people going for on the way home, but then starting to think about weekend sales. and coming to the market over the weekend. But anyway, in this case, I'm going to make it easy and create a new market. Just a second, let me get this over here. Okay, and so this will begin at 1 p.m. and go for 4 hours. And then you can add an address if you want it to show up on the map. And then also when the market starts, and this is a new feature if you used this last year, maybe you haven't seen this before. But you can choose when the market starts and when the market ends. This will tell us when we should be sending you reminders. Okay. So our Wednesday market is created, and you can go through and keep creating your other markets that you need to. And then this will work you through all the different things that you need to do. That's on the left side here is getting started, create a market. Now we see that it's crossed out. Installing a website widget, and I'll show you that and some of the different things here. So I'm going to be going through all these things. But this will keep you going. We'll also be sending, if you sign up for FarmFan, you also get some emails over a couple weeks just telling you about different aspects of things. And please don't be afraid to reach out to me or to Small Farm Central support, and we'll definitely help you through any problems that you're having. So installing a widget, and this is the website widget. Do you remember that? Let me show that to you again. So this is one that I showed you earlier. That's this pop-up widget right here. And this is optional. You don't have to do this, but definitely really encouraged. But to create the widget, you set the title of it. And do you remember where the title, I'll show you that title shows here, and see the default is get market day notifications. And then this text here is what you can change here. And you can change the color to match your website if you like. And then whether a phone is required or not, I would say in most cases you want the phone to be required, but if you want people to be able to sign up just with their email, you can do that. And you can also set how long before the web widget pops up, where you can say never, do not pop up. Okay, and so you save that. And then that gives you this piece of code. Bree, I see that you said you weren't able to change the time zone. I'm not sure about that. I can work with you on that later. Just select the default and we can set it later. So, yeah, please put any questions into chat and I can answer them as we go along here. Okay, so here's the widget for your website. And so you may need to send this to your website administrator, but basically you want this code to be on every page that you want the pop-up to be on. If you use the Small Farm Central website hosting service, we can do this for you. But you basically just copy this and paste it into your website. I have this open here into this Small Farm Central control panel. And so if you use Small Farm Central, you'll put it in display, template settings, script block. Oh, now I'm not logged in. Okay, well that's where you would put it. Sorry about that. I'm not going to log in now, but you would put it in the script block and then it's going to show up on every page of your website. And of course, every web hosting company is going to be different in how this works and how you have your website set up. But we're definitely happy to give you some assistance. But this should be pretty simple if you just send it to your website administrator. They will be able to do that for you. And going down the Get Started guide, create a reward. And so these are some of the rewards we were talking about before. Reward title. So let's say a Wednesday market hat. Really great. Monetary value, that's optional. You definitely don't have to put that in. And this is going to cost 10 check-ins. And click save. Okay. And so that's how you create your different rewards, and they show up here in the right. and then create as many as you like as you go along. New reward here. Okay. On the left side, we're encouraging you to get 10 farm fans, and that's something you'll get as you go along. Connections to social media. So this is one thing that we've added for 2015. And what the social media links do is it allows you to connect to your Facebook page, connect to your Twitter page, and what will happen is each time you post your update right before the market, it'll also go out to Facebook or Twitter, whatever account you have connected, and it'll also include a link for people to sign up. So this is again bridging that gap between the like and the sale, getting people to sign up there. And so that's just a little bit of a time saver on the morning of the market. Then you don't have to worry about updating all these different things. And this is optional. Couple questions. Bobby, would creating a market for a CSA drop work or make sense? Yeah, it may. We're working on a little help file to talk about how you could use FarmFan for CSA drop-offs. It's not totally perfect because it's meant for farmers markets, but we're going to describe how that works. So Bobby, if you send me an email, I will send that to you when it's ready. It's on my list to do this week. And Noah asks, how do people redeem a reward? Great question. So people would people check in via their passcode for the day, and they get a text message back. It says something like, hey, you have 10 check-ins, and these are the rewards available for you, and this is the next reward. And so you are going to manually mark off the reward in the system that you've redeemed that reward for that customer. And so they'll probably bring it over to you at the market and show you, hey, I get the hat coupon, or I'm getting the hat, I want to redeem the hat. And so you would need to write that down or just go right into the FarmFan control panel and redeem that reward. And so that would be one manual step of redeeming that reward. And then that'll do the math. So if they had 12 check-ins and that costs 10 check-ins, then they'll be back down to 2. And so it'll handle all that for you. All right, I'm going to keep going and come back to the questions in a little bit. Okay, so we went through a lot of what's on the left. We encourage you to send an email if you have an email list to your customers telling them about FarmFan. Here's some sample email copy that you can use to get you started. Definitely edit it to make sense in your specific case, but that'll give you some information. And this is the link that you'll use. This is the landing page link. So let me go to that under settings and then landing page. And so this is a link you can link people to from anywhere. Say if you're putting a social media post together, this is where you'd want to link them to. And I showed you this earlier. It looks something like this. Okay. So this is where you can direct people to join FarmFan. And so that's the link you would put in your email. And there's also a QR code if you want to do that. I don't have a whole lot of faith in QR codes, but some people might use them. And this will allow them to sign up from their mobile phone if they would scan it. But most people don't know how to scan QR codes. It's one of those things that seems like a good idea, but just doesn't seem to be borne out in practice. Okay, showing you some different other aspects of the control panel that are not in the Get Started. And we looked at the landing page. Loyalty check-ins, and this is to allow the passcodes to happen. You enable that feature like this, enable check-ins. And again, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. And so now it says loyalty check-ins have been enabled, and it gives you a little information about what's going to happen. And you can set the passcode manually before each market. So I can go in and set the passcode for the Wednesday market on April 15th. I'm going to set the passcode to coffee, like we said earlier. Okay. And then I can set that. If you don't set it ahead of time, we'll choose one for you randomly from a library of passcodes that we have, and we'll send that to you. But either way, we'll text it to you right before the market so you know what it is. Okay. Next is text to join. So it's under settings, text to join. And this is where people can text a special code to the FarmFan phone number to join. And this would be something you could use at the market. I showed you the signage that we have for this earlier. We even had someone talking about putting this on, they were talking about doing bus signage on the insides of buses. So people, while they're sitting on the bus going to work or going to school, they could text the code in to join. And so if I enable text to join, it'll set that up and then give me my code. And this is the code for this specific market, TOD 705. And if you have multiple markets, each one will have its own code. But that's how you enable that and how you get your code. All right. Staff. Let me show you how to schedule messages to go out. So if you want to schedule the message to go out, if you want to schedule the message ahead of time, you don't want to wait for the reminder text message. This is how you do it. You click on messages, click on create. I know I'm already to 141, so that was, I said 40 minutes, so I'll try to just get through these last little things. And so I can choose which market. I can choose multiple markets if I want. The same message to go out to multiple markets, although definitely recommend probably against that in most cases. And there's some tips on the left side of how to generate your message. You only have 160 characters. And so that can be a little bit difficult to get everything into 160 characters, but I think it's freeing in some ways too, because you can't spend, hours on a 500, you can spend hours on a 500 word blog post, but when you only have 160 characters, you can only spend so much time on it. But you just type in here, "Hi, farm fans," and it'll tell you, how many characters you have left, so you can work through that. And then schedule, when do you want it to go out? If you have a Saturday morning market, I definitely recommend not sending messages before 8 a.m. and probably more like 9 a.m. would be about the earliest I would send text messages. So if you have a 9 a.m. market, you might want to do at start time rather than before the market. So just think about what's going to work. You can even do it after the start of the market. And we have some markets that start at 6 a.m. on Saturday morning. Definitely don't want to send messages at 6 a.m. on Saturday morning. The power of text messages is such that people will wake up if you send those messages to them at that time. And then you can also choose a picture to be attached to the message here. And that'll send the picture out with it. And so this is one way to send the message, and the other way is waiting to get the text message and send it out by text message. A couple other things. You can give multiple under settings and then staff. You can give multiple people access to this control panel if you need to. If you have staff at the market that need to redeem rewards or look at customers or whatever they need to do, you can create staff here by clicking on new staff. And let's see, so the customer list is available for you here. You can see activity, who's been checked in, how many people you have. We also send you an email when people sign up, so you can sort of keep track of it that way as people sign up. And you can also manually record check-ins if you click on record check-ins here. So if you're at the market and you want to manually record someone, maybe someone doesn't do text messages, which will definitely happen. You could write it down and then enter that in later, or you could say, if you don't do text messages, we're not going to take your check-in. I think that's fair. But if you do want to do a manual check-in, this is how you do it. You go to record check-ins at the top. And I didn't mention that the customer list, you can always export your customer list to a CSV file or an Excel file so that you can download it from there. And then under the gear tab is where you can download things like the logo. When we have the promotional packet done completely, we'll send an email out, but it'll also be here. So you can download, we have buttons that you could create that are pretty neat. You give out to people as they join FarmFan and different things like that. Here's an email template. So we try to give you a lot of those things out of the box there. And okay, everyone says take as much time as you need. I feel like I'm rushing. I'm rushing now. I like to be on time, but let me just mention pricing real quick, just so you're clear on that. It's free to sign up for a FarmFan account, as a lot of you have done here. And then the cost is, and then you can start building your list, getting people signed up. So even if you're not signed up for FarmFan yet, or even if your markets haven't started yet, you can sign up now, and you won't be billed until you actually start sending your messages on a weekly basis. And then it's charged at 25 cents per FarmFan per month, again, based on just the months that you're actually sending messages, that you're actively in season is the idea. So for example, if you have 100 FarmFans, that would be $25 a month. And we just bill on the first of each month, or around the first of each month, for the activity in the previous month. And then if you get beyond 500 FarmFans, then we have deals on that would take you beyond that, and you can read about that here. I'm definitely happy to answer any questions that you have about pricing going forward from there. But I think you'll find it's a great investment, getting people down to the market. And so that will end my presentation. I can take questions, and I can stick around for a while. I don't have too much scheduled for the rest of the day, and I can definitely spend time with you individually. We're trying to talk to everyone, give everyone a call who signs up for a FarmFan account. So at some point you'll get a call from us if you sign up for an account. All right. So let me go back to here, maybe. All right. Trying to look back. So put any questions that you have into the chat. Sharon S. says, when you try to take it to Facebook, it takes me to my personal page. I can try to guide you through that, Sharon. We'll talk about that on the phone. And Ava says that you live in a very rural area and have found that texting works even when cell phone service is not very reliable. Great, that's definitely true. Noah, so you asked about the special incentive. We'll be sending that out by email in the next week. So I'll let you know on that. So thanks for coming, everyone. I will stick around for questions. Let me put my contact information. Looks like I lost my presentation. I'm sure you can find my contact information one way or the other, but I would just put that up for you. It's the last slide. So here's my email address if you want to email me directly. Thanks everyone for coming. It's been great. It's fun to show you what we've been working on the past 18 months, almost 2 years now, and we definitely made a ton of improvements to FarmFan for this season. It's exciting to have, especially new people on now, because we've had one season to sort of learn what works and learn what doesn't work. And I'm definitely happy to share my experience with all of you, because if you're successful with it, we're successful with it. So I definitely we'll be working as hard as we can to make you successful and make sure you sell more farmers markets this year. Thanks, Melanie. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for mentioning it to your markets in Center County. I'm a Penn State grad, so I know Center County quite well. Thanks, Mary. Thanks for coming. All right, Aaron asks, we have a market twice a week and would like to track both days separately. Do you recommend creating 2 markets, or is it easy to track the check-ins? Yeah, definitely. I would create 2 different markets. I think you're saying you're an actual farmer's market. You're not a retail farm market, I think. That's what I'm understanding. So yeah, I definitely create the 2 messages. Well, I guess the question would be, do different people come to the 2 markets, or is it the same people at the market? We can talk about it, Aaron, another time when we can sort of have a dialogue about it rather than a one-way conversation. Thanks, Sharon. Welcome. Thanks, Bree. Thanks for coming, everyone. Yeah, Aaron, so let's have a call at some point. Send me an email and we can schedule a call and I can talk you through it. And I will be sending out around a recorded version of this later today. So if there's someone else in your organization, your farm, your farmers market that needs to see this, if you want to show this to your vendors or you want to show this to your market managers, definitely encourage them to watch that. It will be available just for 7 days, so it will be available for a limited time. I think I just answered your question, Melanie. Great, Eva. Thanks for joining us. Eva. It's great to have you. Yeah, we're looking forward to a great year. All right, well, it seems like questions are slowing down and we're almost at the hour mark. So I'm just going to sign off here and thanks for coming. Have a great day and hope to see you. Let's schedule a call and talk about how you'd like to use FarmFan.